And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today I'm excited to take a look here at Secret Santa. And the reason I'm excited is because it's a Christmas-themed game, and it's one of those themes that I think is really underused in gaming. I think Christmas is a cool theme, and there's a lot of different things you can do with it. And maybe people don't do it because no one's going to play a Christmas game in July or August, I guess. Maybe that's the reasoning behind it. But this here is a card game, a festive card game of proving to friends and family that you're a better person than they are. Don't let the theme get to you, really. It's essentially just going to be a card game. I'll show you. In this game, there is a deck of cards, and this deck of cards is made up of the 12 gifts from Christmas. So you can see here's a partridge in a pear tree. This is number 1, and there's 12 of these in the deck, while there is 11 of the number 2s, 10 of the number 3s, etc. So there's only 1 of the 12 drummers drumming in the deck. So all these cards are in the deck. There's also different special cards in the deck, and you are going to shuffle these, and you are going to deal the entire deck out to everybody. Once everyone gets their cards, players are going to start, and on their turn, whoever goes first, the person to the left dealer, can play a card or cards from their hand. Whenever they play cards, those cards have to all be the same number. So they can play 1, 2, or they could have played multiple 2s. Now if they play 1, 2, then the next player must either pass or play a higher number card. Then the next person must pass or play a higher number card, and we keep going until everyone has passed. Once everyone has passed, the cards are discarded, and whoever played the highest one goes first. Now remember, I said you could play multiple cards from your hand. So you could play 2 ones, or you could play 3 ones. It doesn't matter. You don't have to even start with ones. You can start with any number. But if you play that many, everyone else must pass unless they can also play that many of a number. And that number has to be higher. So players are going to be playing big groups of cards. This is what is called a ladder climbing game, and the players are attempting to get rid of all the cards in their deck. There are special cards. For example, you saw Santa already. Santa can always be played. Doesn't matter the number of cards, he's always played, and he automatically wins the round. The round's over, and we start the next round. There's also elves, who are essentially wild cards. You can play them with other numbers, and then they will do different things. We have here, but they become the same number. So if I play an elf and 2 5s, that's essentially playing 3 5s. A mouse will simply end the round when you're playing the cards from your hands. And so whoever has already played the highest card will win that round. We have fruitcake, which, as you know, no one in their right mind will want. And you give this card at the beginning of the game, you play it, and you can give one of the cards from your hand to someone else. So you'll start with 1 fewer card, and everybody else will start with more cards than that. Here we have the person wearing one of those nice Christmas sweaters that everyone considers to be ugly. When you play this card here, you are simply switch seats with someone else for the remainder of the game. And so there's other special cards, and they have icons in the corner that tell you if you played on your turn or if you played on someone else's turn. Anyway, as soon as one person gets rid of all the cards in their hand, then that hand is over. They will then get points, using a score sheet, equal to the number of players left in the round. Then everyone else continues to play, and the next person out will get points equal to the number of players left in the round. So the last person out is going to get 1 point. You add all those points together, and you start another hand. And you just keep doing this until you play a certain number of rounds, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Now, I like the artwork of Secret Santa, but I have to complain about the card quality. Now, it's getting better as time goes by and as you use it more and more, but man, it's still, the cards they have this they almost feel plastic. They're not plastic. They almost feel, and they stick together, and it's just kind of a pain to use them. I also have a complaint that every single special card has no text or no indication on it at all as to what it does. Everyone remembers that Santa wins the round. Everyone always is like, well, what does the mouse do? What does the elves do? You got to remember what all these are. A little cheat sheet that kind of gave you the information would have been good. The game itself, as I said, is a ladder climbing game. And that's a family of card games, and they're all the same way, where you have cards in your hand and you're just trying to get rid of as many cards as you can. The first person to do that usually wins these. In this one, you get points equal to all the other players, which isn't really that spectacular, especially if, let's say you're playing a 4-player game. I get 4, you're second, you get third, so I simply got 1 more point than you. So I'm not really keen on the point scoring in this game. I think it's fairly low. Adding those together, going last is not the end of the world. I don't know, they're just, because going out first isn't that big of a deal, there was less excitement. Another problem is the special cards. Not just the fact that they don't have the text on them, but they just kind of disrupt the flow of the game. A few special cards is good, but a couple of these, like change seats with another player, that's just dumb. That's Uno level of dumb. I don't want to get out of my chair and move around the table and sit in someone else's chair. I mean, maybe in a silly game that makes sense, but this is a card game, which could be quite serious. And I think that would work better if that one's left out, or at the, some of the stuff where this just ends around. A lot of the special cards aren't that special. The Santa one, the elves, those are good cards, and you leave those in. I wasn't as impressed with the rest. And then overall, I like the fact that this game has a riff on the 12 Days of Christmas. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me, that song, etc. But in practice, the fact that there's only one 12, two 11s, and 3 10s just makes the game okay. It really is. There are many ladder climbing games out there. A very popular one is Teach You, but there are many different ladder climbing games out there, and almost all of the ones I have played play better than this one. So honestly, the only reason I can recommend this one is based on the fact that it's a Christmas game. You can play it at Christmas time. Other than that, though, it just was not very interesting. Everyone understands how to play it, okay, you're trying to get rid of cards from your hand, but there was no excitement, and there wasn't anything interesting to set it apart from other games of this genre. Dice Tower Judgment, great gaming, but that's it.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!